Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the new rule for international travelers in the UK. So as of today, the 8th of January, there is mandatory COVID testing at all borders in the UK. So international arrivals are required to prove negative COVID-19 test results before departure for England. If you are planning to travel to England, you're required to present a negative COVID-19 test taken up to 72 hours prior to your departure date. Passengers will be subject to an immediate fine of £500 if they fail to comply with the new regulations on pre-departure testing. All passengers arriving from countries not on government's travel corridor list will still be required to self-isolate for 10 days, regardless of the test result. Passengers will still be required to fill in a passenger locator form and be subject to national lockdown restrictions. So this is a good thing. The UK is not closing the borders. However, they're putting restrictions in place to protect everyone. So passengers arriving from all international destinations will be required to present this test before departing for the UK to help protect against new strains of coronavirus circulating internationally. This was announced by the Secretary of Transport, Grant Shapps, as he has said. From next week, inbound passengers arriving by boat, plane or train will have to take a test up to 72 hours before departing the country they are in to help protect against the new strains of the coronavirus, such as those seen in Denmark and South Africa. Today, this decision is in response to recent changes in transmission of the virus, both domestically and across the globe. Pre-departure testing will protect travelers and traveling and provide an additional layer of safety from imported cases of coronavirus on top of the mandatory 10-day self-isolation for arrivals, helping identify people who may currently be infectious and preventing them from traveling to England. A negative pre-departure test reduces the risk of someone traveling while it's infectious, acting as another safeguard to prevent imported infections. Passengers arriving from countries not on the government's travel corridor list must self-isolate for 10 days regardless of their pre-departure test result to provide further robust protection from those traveling from high-risk countries. Prior to departure, passengers will need to present proof of negative test to the carriers as well as a passenger locator form. The UK Border Force will conduct spot checks on arrival to the UK to ensure passengers are fully compliant. The move also boosts extra protective measures held to help international travel last year, with self-isolation of new arrivals and travel corridors remaining critical in reducing the risk of imported cases from high-risk countries. The measure was taken together with the nationwide lockdown as the country rolls out the vaccine over the coming weeks. And the lockdown, which came in January 6, has been put in place to help all and to reduce the spread of the virus. Permitted travelers will need to take their test up to 72 hours before departure, and this will be applied irrespective of whether the country is on a travel corridor list. The government will set out the standard that these tests will need to meet and what proof passengers will need to present. Passengers arriving into the UK who have successfully demonstrated a negative result prior to departure from the country not on the travel corridor list will still have the option to reduce the self-isolation period from 10 days to as little as 5 days by paying for a test through the test to release scheme. The scheme requires a test to be taken on or after the 5th full day since leaving a country not on the travel corridor list. Passengers will be required to show the negative test result before boarding, and transport operators will deny boarding if necessary. On arrival back in the UK, Border Force will check passengers' test result through the current spot check regime to ensure that individuals are compliant with the new rules, and passengers will be subject to an immediate fine of £500 if they do not meet up with the required rules. There will be limited number of exemptions, including haulers, children under 11, crews, and for those who are traveling from countries without an infrastructure available to deliver the test. For more information, you can go on government.uk just to see what you need to see and ensure breaking the law when coming to the UK. As you all know, temporarily there has been suspension of direct travel flights from South Africa to England due to a variant of the strain of the virus. Those who travel indirectly from South Africa must self-isolate for 10 days. All travelers will still be required to complete a passenger locator form before arrival into England. This is critical in being able to track the virus in case of any local outbreaks and Those who fail to complete a passenger locator form will be subject to an increased fine of £500. That's a total of £1,000 payable if you do not have a negative COVID test and if you do not fill your passenger locator form. So there you have it. Ensure you follow the rules and get your testing in the appropriate measures and standard that the UK government requires it, and make sure you have a negative COVID testing 72 hours before you get into the UK. Also fill up your passenger locator form before you get into the UK. And if your country is not on the corridor list of the government, you're expected to self-isolate for 10 days. If you think you want to isolate for less time, you have to apply for the release scheme, and once you apply for the release scheme, you can isolate for less than 10 days. And that's all from me today. If you do have any question, do well to ask. I'll do my best to answer. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.